the issues I need to put up with while filming outside. What better place to film my summer reading tag than out in my garden on an absolutely beautiful summer day. So let's get into the questions. Oryx and Crake by Margaret Atwood. The storyline of this book is actually pretty complex for me to explain, so I'm probably not going to do it any justice. But this book is a dystopian novel, and when I first started reading it, it was the most refreshing dystopian novel that I have ever read, and the beginning was so enthralling and so ingenuitive in comparison to a lot of other novels of the same genre that I have read before, that I was just really intrigued to see how everything was going to play out and what was actually going to happen in the rest of the book. The beginning was actually the best part of the book, as the story actually fizzled out a little bit, and I don't believe that Margaret Atwood honed into the whole concept of the book as much as she probably could have done throughout the entirety of it. Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. This is one of my favourite books so far of 2013. The world building in this is absolutely phenomenal, and it kind of revolves around two worlds. You've got the virtual reality world where everyone goes into, and then you've got the real world where people are actually living in, that is poverty stricken with starvation and global warming that people are just taking for granted. And I thought that this book as a whole was absolutely fantastic. It was just really well written, and the plot twist was so unexpected and nothing was predictable. It was just absolutely amazing, and if you haven't read this book, you really need to go out and get it as soon as possible. You Had Me at Hello by Mari McFarlane. Now, this is one of those books that you can just sit outside and read and not have any qualms about anything else that's going on. It's just a really chilled book, but generally contemporary romances and things like that are pretty chilled because of the fact that there's nothing really substantial going on. Well, there is, but it's not as intense as some books. Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. I didn't actually finish this book, to be honest. I stopped reading because I was so annoyed and so frustrated about 100 pages before the end that I just didn't think there was any point in me continuing, because I didn't actually know what was going on in the first place. I was glazing over the book and I never fully grasped what was actually happening plot-wise. I think that was mainly because of the fact that it was written in a kind of pirate language. Not all Shiver Me Timbers and Pieces of Eight, but it was written with different words and terminologies that weren't actually explained, and you kind of had to know what they meant in order to actually understand what was going on in the book, which is something that I clearly didn't get. Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver. This is about a girl who relives over and over again the last day that she lives. The main character in this book realises different aspects about herself in the way that she realises what she's saying to different people and how those things that she's saying can affect them and the consequences of her actions. And this book moved me in a way that I could relate it to my own life. It makes me think about the things that I say to people and how it affects them, and how I let what other people say to me affect me. And it's just something that made me realise that you only live once, as everyone always says, and you just need to live your life to the full, because you don't know what's going to happen, and that's why you need to just live every day as if it's your last. The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I recently finished this, and from the first page to the last page it was utterly amazing, and I am so glad that I finally got around to reading this after putting it off for so long. It's so magical and mysterious, and you don't actually know what's going to happen, and I spent the majority of the book not actually guessing at all, because there was nothing to guess as to what was going to happen because of the fact that it was so mysterious and enchanting. The writing is so illustrative in itself, in the way that you can clearly imagine everything that's going on, and it's one of those books that you know a lot about the story, but then there's still so much that you don't know and you're never going to find out, because it still leaves room for interpretation and imagination. And I absolutely love that in a book, when they don't give you the full story of what's actually going on. I don't think I'm going to tag anyone in particularly to do this, as quite a lot of people were tagged in the first place, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have done this already, despite the newness of the tag. Newness? Is that even a word? I don't know. but I'd like to give a massive thanks for Katie at Kit Kats Can Read for actually creating this tag, as the questions are absolutely wonderful and really creative. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy your weekend and I will speak to you soon. Bye!